Hey guys, Wismar here. Today I wanted to share with you all this amazing tank build that's been showcased on the workshop this week by the author named Viper. Now before we start, I just wanted to say this guy Viper has some insane builds on the workshop and has even created an entire collection of ships and ground vehicles all with the same theme, including this tank, which is seen in this video. So if you guys want to go check out his workshop items for yourself, I will have a link down in the description below for you guys to go click on. I highly recommend checking out all his work too, not just this tank. Alright, now let's go ahead and get into the video. So starting off, I wanted to first showcase the outside of this tank, and then I'm also going to show you guys a cross section, and then we're going to go ahead and get into testing the tank, shooting at some targets, and testing out its maneuverability as well. Alright guys, looking at this tank, this thing looks amazing. To me it kind of looks a little bit like an M1 Abrams, but that's just me. It definitely has some different characteristics than an M1 Abrams in real life. The overall look of this thing is awesome. I love these little indents right here too on the tank head. Definitely gives it some character, makes it look like maybe it has some eyes too. You could honestly change those different colors on the inside there, those blocks. But it definitely looks really cool. One thing I noticed when I first looked at this tank is I thought it was a railgun as the main turret here, but if we actually look at it, it's an over-under autocannon setup right here, so that's really cool. One thing that's really nice about this tank too is that the main cannon's actually on a hinge there, and if we look closely under the tank head here, you'll see that it's actually suspended onto a rotor there. So it's actually fully functional. The main head of the tank actually swivels on two axes, so the tank head itself can rotate 180 degrees, and then the main cannon can actually swivel up and down depending on how much of an angle you need to target your enemy. So that's really cool. So coming around the top here, you'll see that the tank actually has a lot of cameras, which is actually super helpful, especially for a tank that needs to be precise. So one of the cool things I noticed is they actually incorporated one of the new cameras from the new DLC, the little flat camera that sits on top. And that's actually really good for being really precise with the main cannon when you want to actually target something specifically. And then you have like a static camera on the right here. This doesn't seem to move, but it's just next to eye. And then right here we have this camera, which is actually unique. It's set up next to a rotor and a piston underneath it to actually give it the ability to go up and down. So I thought that's really cool. You also got a secondary cannon right here to be a little bit more precise, maybe if you don't want to blow everything up, so that's pretty nice. And then I just love the overall aesthetic on this tank. It's actually really cool. They added these antenna cables here. They added some actual functionality like up here, like if you open this up with the new DLC, you can get access to some wires in there. Not sure if you'd ever actually use that, but that's still really cool regardless. And then one thing I noticed is they added these little cages around the tank too. In real life, these actually help like RPGs not penetrate the armor of a tank. But on here, obviously it doesn't help too much, but overall the aesthetic of this tank is really cool. If we go ahead and actually go into the tank here, you can access it from the back. So the cockpit is available right there. A little bit unfortunate because it only takes probably a couple rockets from the back of the tank to actually be disabled. Probably take out the cockpit from there, but let's go ahead and look at the inside of the cockpit. So on the inside here, it's actually so cool. They have lights in here, lots of little terminals and panels everywhere. I really love that because, you know, with a tank that has a lot of cameras and no actual viewing ports, you would need a lot of different panels to look through. So it's definitely really cool in that sense. If we look right here, it looks like the tank's already loaded with a radar system and what is that? A skid steering system. I'm not sure what that does in particular, but this is really cool. The overall aesthetic inside the tank is really nice. Alright, now let's go ahead and show you guys what the cross section of this tank looks like. So over here, I set up a little cross section so we can look at the internals here. A little bit hard to see what's going on as far as the blocks on the inside of the tank, but you can see how they set up these 7 wheels on each side, and the front wheels and the back wheels are raised a little bit. So that probably helps a little bit with climbing terrain and getting over some hills. Let's go ahead and try driving the tank and shooting at some targets. Alright guys, so we are in the tank now. Let's go ahead and take it out of park. I wanted to show you guys how cool the cannon is because it can actually rotate on its own. So let's see if we can showcase that here real fast. 8 and 9 seem to turn off the rotor lock and the hinge lock for the head of the tank. So now, look at that. I can maneuver the head of the tank, I can maneuver the main cannon, fully 360, so it's really cool. You can actually be really precise with this tank. Just like a real tank, honestly. That's just so cool in my opinion. I've never actually seen such a functional tank in Space Engineers. I'm sure people have done it before, but I personally have not seen it. So this is actually a really cool toy. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's try and shoot some of these targets here. So let's go ahead and get into the camera that sits on top of the main gun. I set up some targets here. So we have some big targets and some smaller targets here. Let's see if we can be precise. I'm going to try and aim for the middle block there. Oh, first we got to actually set up the cannon. So, alright, there we go. That's actually pretty dang accurate. Look at that. Bullseye right there. That's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and look at the 2x2 target. See if we can hit that on there. Oh my goodness, that just blew the whole target off. Oh my goodness. Dude, it went flying. That's crazy. Alright, let's look at this target now. See if we can take this one out. Oh yeah, totally took that out. And it looks like we took the tree out behind it too. That's awesome. Alright, let's try, one thing I wanted to test real fast was actually the second turret on here. Not too familiar with these smaller turrets in Space Engineers, but hey, they seem to be pretty functional. Let's see. Oh yeah, so oh look at this. Chop that target in half right there. Oh, okay. Took a second for it to fall. Oh yeah, nice. So secondary turret, not as strong as the main turret, but definitely has some functionality to it if you wanted to maybe take out some smaller enemies without blowing everything up. So let's go ahead and I wanted to test it against itself actually. So I want to let's shoot at a tank of itself here so we can actually see what it does. Let's actually look at the cameras here real fast. So let's see, camera 3. If we press the 4 key here, that'll make the piston go up. So yeah, definitely if you need to look over like a rock or something, you can do that. There's our target right there. Got the enemy tank. Let's go back to the main camera here. Oh, one thing I wanted to show here too is the this camera. So this camera actually is right underneath the head of the tank, so it's actually a little bit more protected than the other cameras. But let's go ahead and try and kill our target here. I want to see how much we can actually do. Oh wow, so that actually didn't do that much damage as I expected. So this tank is pretty strong. That's actually pretty cool. Let's try shooting it again. Oh wow, direct hit right in the front of the tank. It's still going though. Let's see, can we hit something else? So, oh man, this tank is really strong. It's taking a beating right now. See if we can take out the camera. Went straight through the middle of the hole there. This thing's actually really strong. It looks like it's interlaced with some artificial mass too to give it some extra protection. Let's see if we, let's hit the side of the skirt here. See if we can hit some wheels. Oh yeah. So, no, definitely very strong indeed. Definitely smoking. This tank can't take too much of a beating, but regardless, this is really nice. Like, this tank definitely has some cool functionality. Try and snap off some stuff here. Try to aim a little bit higher. Oh yeah, totally snapped off the cannon there. But that's really cool. Let's go ahead and look at the damage real fast. This tank would definitely be very cool in like a 1v1 fight. I would love to see some people actually fight each other with this tank. I might have to do that myself. Get some buddies around and do that. But that's definitely really cool. This tank is a beast, guys. Honestly, this is so cool. I love this so much. That's going to wrap up the video for today, guys. If you guys enjoyed it, please hit that like and subscribe button. I just wanted to say thank you to all my current subscribers too. It's been amazing. I just started uploading on this channel a couple weeks ago, and we're already almost at 300 subscribers. So big thank you to everyone that's already subscribed. It means a lot to me. And without further ado, guys, have a good one. I'll see you guys in the next video very, very soon.